Hi, I'm Tyler Menendez, and this is QUTV News.
And I'm Parker Lamesdole. QUTV goes on the road and travels with the football team, and we learn more about QU's head of security.
But first, in light of the election results, international students share their point of view, and that's where we begin today. The U.S. election recently took place where Donald Trump was elected the 47th president. QUTV reporter Freya Hansen introduces us to the reactions from international students around campus.
Many international students were shocked by the outcome of the election. They used the term "a crazy experience" to observe the election up front. At the night of the election, they would stay up to watch it with their friends because the outcome would affect their countries as well.
I think it's quite disappointing, to be honest. I think coming in as like a female from like the other side of the world, I think that if you look at like basic human rights, I think it's kind of disgusting that you're going to vote for like economical benefits like tax and things like that over just basic human rights and what you want to do with your body, healthcare for women and things like that. So quite disappointing in my opinion.
Nations like England and Norway, they have several parties to choose between, whereas in the United States, you can only find two major parties. In those countries, it is easy to find a party where you fully agree. Where in the US, you only have an option to choose the better option.
The reason why I was a little bit shocked about the results is because even back home, everything was publicized to me was about Harris, and it seemed like she was winning. I mean, majority celebrities endorsed her, and even in the countries that were seen to be Republican, seemed that it was going to turn Democrat. And so everything that I saw, it was very Harris-centered.
In countries like South Africa, there's only a parliament instead of a senate, which means the laws are decided in the parliament among more parties. Other international students expected the outcome to be as it turned out because of what they saw in the news.
I think the election was like I expected. I thought that Trump's gonna win, and he did. So I kind of expected it from before, after what I've seen in the news and stuff.
For students like Matthias, he is excited for US to become cheaper with Trump as the president. Freya Hansen, QUTV News, Quincy.
If you haven't heard or don't already know, there is a Christian worship service geared directly towards teens and college students. They have different speakers each week and live music every week. So if you're looking to grow in your faith and find community, look no further. The Crossing Church, located on 48th Street in Quincy, holds what they call the Collective every Tuesday night at 7:30. It's an opportunity for young people to connect with their faith, as well as building community with the peers around them.
Man, it means everything. I mean, we really believe that this generation, it's not the future, this is the now. This is who we are, and we want to invest in emerging leaders in our community who have gathered in Quincy and the surrounding area, invest in their lives to make an impact for Christ, that they might go out and do the same for others.
As you can see, the service surely has an impact on the community. The Collective fills up the auditorium every Tuesday night without fail, and really seems to touch the hearts of some members of the church.
Yeah, so I'm a believer. I've always been a believer. The thing is, since I've been in college, I've been trying to do it more myself. And since I've been going to the Collective, I realized there is power in fellowship and power in being around other believers. So it feels a lot better to me personally to have other people I can surround myself with that also have similar values and beliefs that I do and are also striving for the same goal.
The Collective will continue to dive into the Book of Psalms next Tuesday, so feel free to come join, worship, and maybe make some new friends along the way. Tyler Menendez, QUTV, Quincy. Previously mentioned, the Collective meets every Tuesday night at 7:30. The Crossing Church also offers Sunday services as well. They would love to have you and are always welcoming to new members, so check them out on social media for more dates and information.
The fall semester is winding down for QU, and winter break is right around the corner. However, it is not all smooth sailing, as some students are suffering from academic burnout. Academic burnout is defined by the Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction as chronic exhaustion that stems from a mismatch between the individual and their current educational environment. With students getting ready for finals, the feeling of burnout is more alive than ever. Some students also have to manage practices, study hours, and work with their time outside the classroom. A combination of all these factors has students pining for a break.
Whenever you deal with classes, work, practice, homework for X amount of time, it gets to be very tiring, and you just sometimes need a break because it gets to the point where you just don't feel like doing it anymore.
Students have a few options on how to handle their academic burnout. They could go out and participate in activities they enjoy. Things like playing video games or going bowling could give them a little break from their stressful obligations. Stopping by the Student Success Center to talk to the success coach can also be helpful, even if something as simple as a walk outside or relaxing on the couch can provide much needed relief to students. Quincy University hired a new head of security last May to fill the shoes of former head of security Sam Lathrop. Rob Copley took over the head of security after 42 years of being with the Quincy Police Department. 18 of those years, Copley served as chief of police. He retired from the police department in 2022. After just 2 years of retirement, Copley says he needed something to do.
Prior to coming to QU, I was on the Quincy Police Department for 42 years. I worked my way up through the ranks, spent the last 18 years there as chief of police. Enjoyed working with the community all those years. And then I retired in 2022. I made it through 2 years of retirement and decided I needed to find something to do.
If you are looking for security, you can locate them at the bottom of Friars Hall or on the QU website under QU Campus Safety and Security. QU students have the opportunity to become better writers. The Creative Writing Club is a new club on campus. This club offers students a space to share ideas with writing and receive feedback. QUTV's Kai Grover shows us more.
Inside the art gallery of Brenner Library, creative students gather with Lindsay Witt as she heads the Creative Writing Club and gives them tips on becoming better writers.
I wanted there to be kind of a welcome space, like with that same energy for writers and, even students who are uncomfortable with their writing skills. It's a lot easier, I think, to work on those skills when you're working on something fun.
This week's prompt was about villains and how to craft the perfect villain for a story and using things like setting and perspective to create a creative villain.
Usually have the same group of people each time. It's a very small group, but that's all right. I mean, I don't mind the size of the group as long as, there's people coming and they're enjoying themselves.
Lindsay hopes that in the future the club will grow and it inspires more students to find a good writing community. Creative Writing Club meets every Tuesday and Thursday from 4 to 6 in the art gallery inside of the library. This is Kai Grover, QUTV News, Quincy.
The prompt for the next meeting is first lines from famous authors. If students are interested in knowing more about the club, they can visit Brenner Library and talk to Lindsay Witt.
Parker, this weather outside, it's starting to feel a little bit like Christmas.
All right, Tyler, all right, let's relax. We haven't gotten to Thanksgiving quite yet, so hold up on that. Coming up next, Carter Lenzen reports on what it's like as a traveling athlete.
Quincy University plans travel details for all of its players for out-of-town games. It takes a lot more than just piling 60 athletes on a bus and driving straight to a game. Carter Lenzen is here to tell us what an athletic road trip is really like. Carter, you travel with the NCAA football team this week. What did you notice on the trip?
Yeah, it's an absolute full-scale operation. You got to be prepared for the game with walkthroughs and meals sprinkled in, but it's an absolute race to the finish to get to game day. 36 hours before kickoff, the Hawks football team prepares for a cross-country journey to Southwest Baptist University. It all starts with a walkthrough on Friars Field to go over any last-minute adjustments and key points to remember for the game. Then, they head into the locker room to pick up their bags and check any equipment needs before sitting on the bus. Once they hit the buses, the boys are fueled up with sandwiches, water, and snacks to keep the men fueled up on the journey.
It's just all the small moments you can't really choreograph. Driving here or to or from the place you're going to play at, you really have moments that just kind of happen on the spot.
After their 4-hour journey, they make it to Springfield, Missouri, where they set up shop for the night and the meals and meetings begin. The players get to chow down on Olive Garden pasta and make core memories before they start their position meetings.
Traveling's fun. I get to go and chill with upperclassmen and go have fun as a freshman, so it's pretty fun.
After the bonding, it's time to hit the hay and wake up for one last bus ride.
As game day nears, there's one final bus ride that the team needs to take from the hotel to the SBU football stadium. Some people use it as a time to listen to music and get into the game zone. Others use it for a time to take an old nap.
After a small journey around the Midwest, the Hawks step off the bus and get ready to go to war for 60 minutes with the SBU Bearcats.
And went to war they did, as the Hawks ended up beating the Bearcats 34-25, and Tion Dollar continued his reign of terror for rushing for 236 on 34 attempts and 3 touchdowns. The Hawks finished with a conference record of 5-3, with a chance to end the year in 3rd place of GLVC football standings.
So Carter, what are some of the things that you noticed on the trip with the team?
Well, the players will at least eat 2 tons of food on the road trips over that 36-hour period, and no matter what, they will always be hungry, always. As well, you'll see some of the most insane trades for food on those buses that anyone will see.
Really? Like what, Carter?
So we were coming back from the big win, and I had a box of crumble cookies on the bus, and one of our running backs tried to trade me his giant pork tenderloin sandwich for one of those cookies. It's a good deal, but crumble cookies are expensive.
It's a pretty good deal.
It's a good deal.
It is a good deal.
Well, thank you, Carter, for joining us. Ryan Capps is coming up next to join us with the weather.
And welcome back. I'm Ryan Capps here to give you your weather forecast for this week. And as you can see here, it's starting to feel just a little bit like fall, as when you think of fall, you think of those kind of cooler temperatures, as we didn't really get those in October. But falling off of October, we are having some consistency, as October was fairly hot. And now it's starting to cool down just a little bit, but we're still getting consistent temperatures throughout the week, but we will have some rain. Now heading on into the history of today, as you can see, we're just a little bit above the average, but as you can see here in this Midwest, you sometimes have weathers of 75. You can also have weathers of 7. So you never know what you're really going to get, which is why I say it's kind of been a consistent fall so far. For now, Wednesday, today we have a temperature of 53. It's going to be a little bit partly cloudy with some winds of up to 11 miles an hour coming from the southeast. Now heading into tonight, we have some light rain here, but the wind will be shifting coming from the west, still staying around that 11 miles an hour mark with the temperature of 46. But the big thing to note will be that rain that's going to be coming in here. Now Thursday, we have temperatures of 52 degrees, but it's going to be a little bit cloudy. So it's going to feel a little bit colder than that, especially with the winds coming in at 15 miles an hour. You're really going to want to note that and bundle up for your Wednesday day. Now on to your weekend forecast. Friday, we have a nice cool day of 59 degrees, which is cold, but it's going to feel a little bit warmer than what we've used to been getting from the start of this week. Then dipping down into the evening, we have a nice cool day of 42 degrees, which is going to be real cold. You're really going to want to bundle up for that, especially if you decide to go out or have any plans like that. Then Saturday, as you can see here, it's setting up to be a beautiful day, coming in at 61 degrees with winds from the south-southeast of 14 miles an hour. And it's going to be partly cloudy, so that's setting up to be a really beautiful day considering what we've been having this week. Now on to our 7-day forecast. I kind of already talked about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so I'll step off here so you can see Monday through Wednesday here. And as you can see, this is where some of that rain's starting to come in, as we've already had rain here from Wednesday, coming in the nighttime. But then once again, Wednesday's just not shaping up to be a really nice day throughout these weeks, as Wednesday again is going to have some rain. But as you can see there, Monday will also have some rain. But like I said, the consistency is the big thing to note here, as it's going to be sticking in those 50s to low 60s, which is going to be, it's going to feel really nice, but it's kind of what we're used to for the fall, especially in this Midwest. That's kind of what we're going to have in store for the forecast this week.
Well, awesome. Thank you, Ryan, for the update on weather. Coming up next, we'll have Tony Lundy with an update on our QU Hawks fall sports.
Hello, and welcome to QUTV Sports. I'm Tony Lundy. The Quincy University swim team travels to Springfield, Missouri for the Drury Invitational. The Hawks took on 2 conference opponents in the Rockhurst University and the host team, Drury University. The Hawks soared throughout the meet, having some personal bests and season bests. There were also 4 team records broken on the men's side, one by sprinter Borna Kisasanda in the 100 backstroke, and also took home first in the 100-meter butterfly.
I think it went excellent and better than most expectations, especially for not fully resting, still training these student athletes, fairly and a lot of yardage and cranking up the intensity each week, and saw a lot of personal bests. I saw a lot of lifetime bests, saw a lot of individuals setting records, and for example like Borna getting those NCAA cuts. And yeah, pretty good. I'm excited to see how House of Champs, our midseason invite in Indianapolis, Indiana at the IU Natatorium. I'm excited to see what we look like when we're rested and / drop tapered. So yeah, let's just keep it rolling.
The Hawks look to continue their high flying next week when they travel to Indianapolis, where they will compete in the House of Champions Invitational at the fastest pool in America. Their competition will consist of some very fast Division I schools and some conference opponents. Quincy women's volleyball have been on a roll lately. They currently are ranked #1 in the GLVC standings and have already clinched a GLVC tournament berth. The UMSL Tritons look to put a fork in the Hawks' mojo. With number 18 ranked UMSL coming into the town, the Hawks were hungry. The game is a big one for both Quincy and UMSL, as they are both on a tear looking to stay in the top 25.
I'm excited for the atmosphere of the game. They're a really good team, but so are we, and it seems like we always go back and forth with them. They're one of our biggest rivals in the GLVC. We lost to them 2 years ago in the second round of regionals, and we also lost to them last year, but this year is a new year.
The Hawks came out blazing in the first set with a 25-23 victory to start off the night. Then, in the next set, with a 25-20 victory, it looked like the Hawks were going to soar through the third set. The Tritons had other plans, though, as they took the third set from the Hawks, winning 25-16. Mark Jones brought his team together and collected them before going out and crushing the fourth set with a 25-15 victory. The Hawks sent the Tritons packing and also sent them down in the GLVC rankings. The Hawks were prepared for this one, and it showed as the students packed the stands wearing all black to support the volleyball team. And with that, QU women's volleyball has played their last home game this season. However, the team does not plan on having their season end anytime soon. The Hawks' last homestand included 2 games that will not be forgotten anytime soon. First, they avenged their regional loss from 2 seasons ago with a win over UMSL. Then, Senior Day allowed for senior Emma Weinenbergen to leave her mark in the QU record books.
They're leaving a legacy for this program. I have nothing but great things to say about them. They're awesome. They put this team first, and they worked so hard to get to this point. And I'm sure we're going to be in that, we're definitely going to be in the NCAA tournament. We just got to keep working.
The team has one more weekend of games before the conference tournament begins. These seniors already made history by hosting a women's volleyball regional for the first time in QU history. And this season, they look to advance past the second round for the first time in school history. Quincy University NCAA football has had a successful year in conference. Each win seems to have historic value. From winning at S&T for the first time since 1998, or being the first team to have 5 conference wins, other historic wins are McKendree being the second time the team has won on the road. Then William Jewell was the first win on senior night since 2019. Last year, the team went 6-5, which was the first winning record since 2014. This year is the only improvement from last year, building the way for the new program.
You can't just get hung up on what we did last year. It's a brand new year, different guys. The hungry mindset still has to be taken week in and week out.
The football team will head to Missouri Western for their final game of the year this Saturday. That's all I have for sports today. I'm Tony Lundy. See you next week.
I tell you, Tyler, talking about football, seeing that video we saw earlier about all the food they get to eat on their travels makes me a little hungry.
Well, let's just hold off that hunger for just a minute, because coming up next, QUTV's Tony Lundy is going to show us a Cajun chicken recipe.
Unless you live in the Student Living Center, cooking in the dorms is non-existent. This includes more than just a microwave or air fryer. The Student Living Center allows students to show off their cooking skills with their most famous dishes. By having limited meal swipes at the cafeteria, cooking on your own is the main option. QTV's Tony Lundy takes us to the SLC to share a special recipe.
Students that choose to live in the SLC tend to choose it for one reason alone: cooking. Cooking has been a staple in the university, with the SLC allowing students to make their own home-cooked meals.
You know, I like living out here in the SLC because we get the chance to cook every day. Everybody else out here is studying, learning how to do all their stuff, and I'm out here learning how to cook while getting a good education.
One dish that has caught attention is Cajun chicken. This recipe calls for minimal ingredients that can all be found for cheap at Aldi. They include bell peppers, chicken breast, pasta, cream cheese, minced onions, little bit of garlic, and of course, Cajun seasoning.
So growing up, my mom was a cook at a university, and she would come home and not want to cook dinner, so she would force us to cook dinner, and just kind of grew up cooking dinner at home, so why not do it here?
The first step is to wash your hands. Boil some water and add in the noodles. Cut the chicken into bite-sized pieces on a separate pan and cook the chicken. Cut the peppers and add them into the pan with the chicken. When the chicken is fully cooked, add in 2 cups of milk and cream cheese. Once that is melted, add in the pasta and stir. After the consistency is okay, add in your spices and don't go too light. Then you can finally enjoy the food.
The best part about making food in your own dorm is you won't feel embarrassed afterwards when you get to lick the plate clean. It's so good.
For more homemade recipes like this, talk to students that live in the SLC. Everyone has their own dish that they would love to share. Tony Lundy, QUTV News, Quincy.
All right, now I'm really hungry, you guys. I could go for some of that Cajun chicken, or my favorite, fresh fried catfish with a side of mac and cheese and french fries.
I'm gonna be real. I think I would go for that Cajun chicken. I mean, you saw me in that video. I'm not ashamed of it.
I mean, we can obviously tell you're not ashamed of it. Looks like you'd eat it whenever you can. I mean, me personally, I'm still on the meal plan, so I just go eat whatever the caf has. If it's good or not, I kind of still eat it anyway. What about you, Tyler?
You know, it might not be breakfast time, but I'm feeling like a nice like bacon, egg, and cheese, like maybe a little avocado on a bagel or something like that. Toast it up, make it real nice.
Yeah, that sounds good. It does sound really good right now.
But that's all we have for today. Thank you for watching QUTV News. For more stories like this, follow us on social media and QUmedia.net. Have a great day.